there's this like little thing in your head telling you need to buy a new bag. I don't know what it is, guys. Like, even if I really enjoy the bag I've just bought, I still have this like little whisper in my ear, like, what's next? Like, what else are you gonna buy after this? Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Jess. If you love shopping and handbag videos, please like and subscribe to my channel. This morning I was having some thoughts about what to film today, and my boyfriend suggested to me that I film a video about comparing different ways of buying handbags. So whether you are a handbag collector or whether you're somebody who has the policy of buying one bag and selling one bag, one in, one out, or whether you're more of a hoarder or just like a once in a blue moon buyer, what motivates you guys to buy bags? Because I know for me, I would say I'm a little bit of a collector, because although I don't have like 100 handbags, I really hone into specific styles and things, and I feel like I need to catch them all. I don't know why I do that, but I've done this many times with different brands, different things in my life, and I think it pretty much stemmed from when I was really young. You know, I grew up in the 90s, and you know, during my school times, I remember I used to collect silly things like Pokemon cards, Beanie Kids, Tarzos. Well, actually, I didn't collect Tarzos, but my friends did. I had these things called like Crazy Beans or Millennium Bugs. Like, yeah, so many things. We were kind of like brought up to collect things. I don't know why that is, but yeah, I just remember like if I was good, I would, because I actually got my tooth, I like whacked into a pole when I was really little, and my tooth like got broken in half, and I had to get root canal a few times, I remember, when I was really young, and every time I got root canal, I got a Beanie Kid. So I don't know, maybe it was like trained within me to collect things. I don't know, guys, but I feel like a lot of people my age have this same tendency, and my boyfriend, he also like used to collect little things when he was younger as well. You know, he has similar tendencies to me. He's a lot like, just because you collect things doesn't mean that you're silly, or he's a very intelligent person. He's very like controlled with what he buys as well. Like, he doesn't overspend or anything. He's actually very good at saving money, but he has a weakness for guitar pedals, and you know, he follows a lot of different buy swap sell pages on Facebook, and he finds I feel like he is a mix of a collector and like a one in, one out, because he has like a pedal board where he like displays all his different guitar pedals, and he likes to curate it to have like the right mix of like sounds, and like I don't know, I think he does collect things depending on like the colors of the pedal as well. But I don't know much about guitar pedals, but you know, I do notice that if he collects too many at once, he does like sell some, and then if there's one he really wants, sometimes he like sells a few to fund one, not because he can't afford it, but just because to control his collection, he curates it, and he also only collects certain styles. So yeah, I feel like with handbags, you're either somebody who, most of the people I talk to buy a handbag once in a blue moon. Like, most people I talk to in my real life, like they might buy a designer bag if it's their graduation, or I don't know, it's their birthday, and then they might buy another bag a few years later, and they just never sell their bags. There are so many people that I know just would never sell their designer bags. Like, they're sentimental, or, you know, because they're people who just will buy a bag as a treat, like once in a blue moon. They're not like necessarily collecting these bags. And I sometimes wish I was one of those people who just like bought a bag every now and then, but I think because I've grown up with collecting tendencies, I feel the need to collect things, and that is why the last few years I've gone through so many different phases with my handbag collecting. Still have like one Loewe bag and a few SLGs, but the reason why I sold most of my Loewe things this year is because I couldn't sustain creating a collection of Loewe. Like, psychologically, I couldn't do it, so I just decided I'm just collecting Hermes, because I can't focus on too many things at once. I'll just go insane. Although I still follow Louis Vuitton, Chanel, and like I like to follow fashion still. I don't know, for me, I need to collect one brand. And it's, even you might find if you collect one brand, you might only collect certain things from that brand. Like you might just collect 90s Chanel. You might just collect pink bags. You might just collect neutral bags. Like, I think this like normalization of collecting bags has definitely been more prevalent on YouTube the last few years. Like, I've noticed so many different styles of collecting handbags, and a lot of people I can't relate to. Like, I've noticed a lot of YouTubers collect more neutral bags, which I usually think is a very wise choice, but it's always like, you know, a Speedy, a Classic Flap, a Neverfull, a Gucci Disco. Like, it's always those simple classic bags that people tend to collect a lot of. And I'm like, why are people collecting these same bags? Is it because they like them, or is it because people are watching other people on YouTube and getting influenced, and like that everyone is kind of collecting the same sorts of bags? And then there's people who go totally left of field and like collect the most randomest bags, which I think is really cool. And then there's people who just buy bags every single week, and I've fallen into that as well. I think there are some people who just fall into a shopping addiction with handbags. And why am I holding this? By the way, I'm wearing this lipstick. I like tried it out today, and I wanted to tell you guys, but I got sidetracked. It's Hermes. Anyways, so yeah, I think there's people as well who fall into a shopping addiction with handbags, which I honestly am trying to break out of, because I feel like you can be a collector, but you're not necessarily addicted. Like, you know, you can still treat yourself to a bag every now and then, but you don't have this like urgency to buy a bag every week or every month where you feel anxiety if you don't buy a bag. I feel like sometimes if you get too obsessed with anything, you can form this habit of like withdrawal symptoms if you don't buy it, and you can kind of, I don't know, there's this like little thing in your head telling you need to buy a new bag. I don't know what it is, guys. Like, even if I really enjoy the bag I've just bought, I still have this like little whisper in my ear, like, what's next? Like, what else are you gonna buy after this? And then like after a week, I just feel this like feeling of like, oh, I should start browsing, I should stop looking. And I think that's a shopping addiction. So if you start falling into that, honestly, that can be a very frustrating cycle to fall into. But I don't think everybody who collects bags or buys lots of handbags is necessarily addicted, but you can fall into that as well, and that might be a motivator for you to buy bags simply because you're addicted to it and addicted to the feeling of buying the bags, which is something I'm trying to recognize and break out of. I'd rather be somebody who like strategically collects bags over time, or like, and it's not like feel the need to buy a bag for the sake of buying a bag, because that can be really stressful. And yeah, that's something that I'm trying to steer away from personally. But there are also people as well, I've noticed with handbags, who don't necessarily collect like bags because they want to collect them all. Like, you know, there are people like me who want to have a few sizes of Belize for some reason. Or I want to have a few Kelly bags. Like, I want to have all Hermes bags. I want to collect like different shades of red. Like, I don't know why that is, but there are some people who literally just collect bags for practicality reasons as well. Like, they will just have 5 really cool bags in their collection: a classic tote, a classic evening bag, a classic I don't know, like a smart casual bag. And these kinds of people might be people who are more of the one in, one out style. So yeah, I know there are so many people who comment on my videos as well, and you might say, oh, I only have 10 bags and I only want to stick to 10 bags. So no matter what sort of 10 bags they are, if you're not using it, you will sell it to buy a new bag, or like have the one in, one out policy. And I think that's really good because it creates like a kind of control within your handbags and within your life, and you don't feel out of control with the possessions you have. And I think that's a good habit to form with a lot of things you might own. Like, even if you have too many pairs of pants or too many I don't know, hair accessories or too many shoes, that like when you get to a point where you have too many, it actually becomes like way too cluttered and it becomes like junk. Like, you forget what you have and you're like, it just becomes very overwhelming. I know when I go into my wardrobe and it's not organized and I find something I forget I even had, that actually makes me feel like, oh my gosh, I'm so out of control. So I think that sense of control over your collection, sticking to only like 10 bags, is a really good thing to practice. But if you're a collector, you might find that very hard to maintain, because the problem with fashion is there's always something new coming out. So if you're, for example, like a Gucci collector, there might be so many things that are being reissued now that you never could get from the 90s or whatever, and you just have to get those things to add to your collection, despite if you have 10 bags or 20 bags or 30 bags. And for people who are collectors, honestly, the sky's the limit. That's the scary thing. There is no there's no like number where you can stop, because literally if you collect things, you could collect them all. The only way that I can control myself from my collecting tendencies is if I create boundaries for myself. So like only one brand, only these colors, not these styles. And if you start creating rules for yourself, you can kind of control your shopping a little bit, because it can get a little bit out of control. And that is why I'm trying to like implement certain rules for myself with my shopping. But yeah, guys, are you one of those people who just buys a bag every week and then keeps it on your shelf? Are you one of those people who never sells your bags? Or are you somebody who has a passion for collecting only certain styles of bags? Or are you somebody who, you know, likes to maintain a well-curated collection of practical, neutral bags? Whatever style of collecting or buying bags you are, let me know. I think it's good to identify that within yourself, because then you can kind of understand maybe the reasons why you might be buying a bag, and actually it can help you decide whether you need that bag or not. Because I know sometimes I get sucked into buying even like the Mono Glam collection. There was a part of me that was like, oh, should I buy like the Speedy 20? But now that I've created a rule to only buy Hermes because that's what I collect, it actually saved me from spending, you know, I don't know, $3,000. So sometimes it can be good to identify that within yourself, because I know that in like a year I would look back and be like, damn, I wish I didn't buy that Speedy because I really want to buy this Hermes bag that I like more. And I just identified that within myself. But anyways, thanks for listening to my blabby video today. I know I just kept on, you know, talking. I just had a lot of thoughts when I was in the shower today, and I was just like, found myself talking to myself, and I'm like, okay, am I going crazy? Because I need to make a video about what I'm talking about to myself. So anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys on my next one. Bye!